Right, rating for pickup cavities and the control cavity in the back of this guitar for the Great Guitar Build Off 22. First thing I need to do is get some alignment sorted out for the neck. So I've got my ruler there, and I've got it lined up with the side of the neck, and I'm going to draw a line continuing the neck taper to the end of the body, and I'll repeat that on both sides of the neck. This is so that I can check the alignment and find the true center line, so that when I put the pickups and the bridge onto the guitar, everything will line up correctly with the neck. It's very important that this is done, because if they're slightly out of line, it's not going to play or intonate correctly. So now I've got those lines, getting my protractor and finding the two lines I've just marked from the neck. In this case, each line is 29 millimeters from the center. So when I've marked that with my pencil, yeah, come on, get on with it. There we go. Right, okay, so that's that center marked, and then I'll repeat that again at the end of the body. Obviously it's slightly wider there. I think it was about 31 millimeters at that point. But these protractors are very useful. They've got like increments every millimeter, so you can get your pencil lead in there and be incredibly precise. So now I've got those marked, just adding a center line. Ideally you want the center line to match your body joint. In this case I was off by a millimeter, which it's annoying, but it's not a great deal. But it's why you have to realign everything in relation to the neck to make sure that it's all going to work properly. So now I've got my center line, I've got my meter rule, and I'm using this to find the bridge position, scale length. Now this is a PRS type guitar, so the scale length is 25 inch or 635 mil. So we find that point and make a mark. Now this is a nominal bridge position. We call it that because obviously modern guitars are built with compensation and adjustability in the bridge, so not all of your saddles are going to be exactly on that line. The treble side tends to be slightly forwards, the bass side tends to be slightly behind. It's not a one size fits all, but the adjustability built into modern guitar bridges allows you to adjust and compensate for that, for string length, which is why they're called compensated bridges. So that's where we'll be mounting the bridge and sorting out the string through holes. So now that's done, I can align my template and mark out where the pickups will be routed. Now I was thinking of direct mounting these pickups, however I've decided to get some mounting rings to put the pickups into, really because it's an easy way of doing it, and it's I don't think it will detract from the look. So now we know where the pickups are going. Get the forstner bit in the pillar drill, and we'll clear some material. You can just go straight in and rout, but if you can get some of the material out of the way first, it takes the strain off the router and the bit. So it's always best to get as much out as you can. And obviously forstner bits, they leave you with a flat bottom hole. So I've got the depth stop set, the bridge pickup, yeah, that's the depth stop is set at 22mm. Now that 22mm is going to be the point tip of the forstner bit, not the flat area. That's so that, you know, the last couple of millimeters I'll clear with the router. So just going in gently with the pillar drill, taking small cuts each time. You don't want to just plunge straight into your depth in one pass. That can cause burning, and you know, the drill bit can wander, even with the piece clamped down. Okay, so now I've got the bulk of that material out on the pillar drill. I need to mount the template so we can use that to rout out the pickup cavities. Now, this is one of the easiest ways I've found of holding down templates and jigs, and it's called the masking tape and superglue trick. So essentially what you do is burnish down some masking tape on both faces that you're, you know, attaching. Put some superglue or CA glue on one of the strips of masking tape. Press them together, the glue cures and hold it in place. Now, it will take lateral force incredibly well, but you know, it will lift off easily with vertical pressure. It's a bit of a strange thing the first time you do it, but it does work. So now I'm just matching up the masking tape on the body. You do have to be careful about glue spooging out around the masking tape, because obviously if that does happen, then it's going to cure onto your workpiece rather than the template and the tape. Now, just checking that I've got everything lined up how we want it to be, and then just a few dabs of glue on the tape. I'll try and keep it down the middle, but it's where you can, I use the widest masking tape I've got. At this point, you can spray the other tape with accelerator, but this glue cures fairly quickly, so I don't need to. And it also gives you another couple of seconds just to make sure you've got it lined up correctly. Now, give it some pressure, and then as you can see, I've just lifted the entire guitar body up using the template, and it's going nowhere. Right, these Triton routers are so easy to use. The bit changing process takes hardly any time at all. The collet lock also automatically locks the on-off switch, so you can't accidentally switch this thing on if you're changing the bit. They're brilliant pieces of kit. This is the smallest one they do in their baby router. but it's got more than enough power for what I need. So I've just fitted a long shaft radian router bit. It's a half-inch. It's a half-inch shaft. The router bit is 19mm in diameter, and it's a plunge bit that's got 3 cutting edges to it. It's incredible, really good router bit. So here I'm just getting everything, set for depth, etc. The neck pickup route needs to be 18mm deep. So I've just set that, and I'm checking that the bearing is going to run along the template. Extraction on, ear defenders on, and away you go. Now, don't try and take too much when you're using a router. A couple of millimeters at a time is more than sufficient. So a couple of minutes with that one, and now what I'm doing is I'm swapping the router out to a 1/4 inch bit that I can get right into the corners of the template. So bit out, a 1/2 inch collet off, 1/4 inch collet on, and the new bit in place. Now I've got the video speeded up, but in real time it took 90 seconds, if that, to get the other router bit ready to go. So just going in now and getting everything tidied up into the corners. It's a much smaller diameter bit, so you can get right into the corners of the template, but still the same principle: small cuts at a time, and just dropping the height, a mil or so for each pass. Just leaves a much cleaner finish when you do it that way. So that's the pickups done, and now we're going to pull the template up away from the body, and off comes the tape, and no mess, no fuss, no removing sticky residue from double-sided tape, and template's ready to use again next time. And the body is clean, no glue. So now we mark the back of the guitar for where we want the control cavity to be, making sure we've got the template insert in so that we're not removing the cover as well. Yeah, not that I've ever done that, obviously. So now we know where we are. Back on the pillar drill with the forstner bit, just got the body held in place with a clamp, not too tight, just enough so it's not going to shift on me, and small cuts, digging in a little bit at a time and let the material clear as the bit comes back out. And we're going to a depth just shy of the back of the rosewood top. I'll clear the rest of that material away with the router afterwards, and then it's just a case of rinse and repeat, doing each hole slightly overlapping as you go, which helps with clearance, and then that gives you this kind of pattern that you then go into with the router. And again, got the masking tape and glue working for me to hold the template down. Obviously having to be a bit more creative with where I'll get the tape on this one, because it's a slightly odd place and a slightly odd shape that we're going, and we want to make sure that the template doesn't move while we've got the router going. So burnish the tape down, line the template, these crimson templates are quite cool actually. with the especially on the things like the inserts for the control cover and the tremolo cavity on the back. They're quite a clever way of doing it. I like it. So just marking on the template where I want to put the tape. That's just to help me line up the tape and make sure I'm not going to spread glue everywhere. And this does seem like a bit of a faff, but it's worth spending a couple of minutes, you know, to mess around with some masking tape and a bit of glue than it is to go through double-sided tape trying to get something to line up properly, because obviously with superglue you do get a few seconds before it cures, so you can get it lined up exactly where you want it, and I just find it a much easier way of doing it, although obviously you do go through a lot of masking tape and superglue, but it's an easier way for me to work with holding down jigs and templates and work pieces. So another bit change on the router, back to the 1/2 inch collet and the long shaft bit, just so we can get into the bottom of the cavity. Again, very quick change, less than a minute, and we're ready to go. So really worth getting yourself one of these if you're looking for a decent router to use for guitar building. So just hooking up the extraction back onto the router, ear defenders back on, and away we go. Again, small passes with the router, just doing a couple of millimeters at a time and adjusting the depth a little as we go all the way down. Don't take too much material, and you'll be left with a much better finish when you use it. Right, good day today. See, we've got pickup cavities routed. Got to love a Triton router and a Radian router bit. They're really, really good. And we have a control cavity routed down to the back of the rosewood. So it's just gone through the sycamore. It'll be foil lined anyway for shielding, so you won't see that necessarily when it's off. So yeah, good day today. We'll be back and doing a bit more tomorrow. But neck pocket is sorted, nice and snug, so we can support the guitar on the neck. And thanks for watching. There's a video popping up now which is part of the build-off series that I've got on my channel, so if you fancy seeing a bit more, stick around for that one, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.